So our problem here is what volume of 0.2 molar sulfuric acid will neutralise 25 cubic centimetres of 0.5 mole per cubic decimetre sodium hydroxide. So what information do we have? Well, we have concentration. We've got the concentration of the sulfuric acid and the concentration of the sodium hydroxide. We've also got a volume of sodium hydroxide, and we want to work out the volume of the sulfuric acid. So in this particular case, the equation that we'll be using, concentration equals number of moles over volume. Those are the three variables that we will require. So how do we go about this? Well, first thing to do is to get our equations sorted and balanced. So sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and that will react with sodium hydroxide, NaOH, and the formula of the product, sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 plus water, H2O. So we've got the formulae correct and balanced. Next we need to balance the equation. And you'll notice that we've got two sodiums on the right hand side, so we will need two sodiums on the left hand side as well. Then we need to balance up the oxygens. We can keep the SO4s as a unit, so you can see that we've got the same number of SO4s on both sides. So that means that we've got two oxygens left over, so we need to have two more oxygens there, and we've got two hydrogens there, total of four hydrogens there in total. So let's consider what we know and our variables. Concentration, volume and amount are our variables. What do we know? Well, we know the concentration of the sulfuric acid is 0.2 mole per cubic decimetre. We also know the concentration of the sodium hydroxide, 0.45 moles per cubic decimetre. We don't need to worry about any of the others. We're trying to find the volume of the sulfuric acid, so that's our target, and we're given the volume hydroxide 25 cubic centimetres. So let's think of a strategy. Remember that if you know two of the three variables, you can work out the third. And you can see from that we should be able to work out the amount of sodium hydroxide. And amounts, of course, are very useful because they connect everything in the balanced equation. You can see that 2 moles of sodium hydroxide react with 1 mole of sulfuric acid. So if we know the number of moles of sodium hydroxide, we can work out the number of moles of sulfuric acid. And knowing the two variables of sulfuric acid, concentration and amount, we should be able to work out the volume. So we have 3 steps in our process. First step is to work out the amount of sodium hydroxide. Second step, from that work out the amount of sulfuric acid. Third step, up a little bit, is to work out the volume of the sulfuric acid. So let's go about it. Rearrange our equation. Concentration equals number of moles over volume. Take the volume up to the top on the left hand side. That means number of moles equals concentration times volume. Concentration 0.45, volume 25. But remember that concentration is in moles per cubic decimetre and our volume here is in cubic centimetres. So we need to divide that by 1000. And that will give us 0.45 multiplied by 0.025. I'll make that 1.125 times 10 to the minus 2 moles. The number of moles of sulfuric acid, well, you can see we've got a 2 to 1 ratio, so we can divide the number of moles of sodium hydroxide by 2. .63 times 10 to the minus 3. And therefore our volume, rearrange equation again, take the volume up to the top, take concentration down to the bottom, so volume equals number of moles over concentration, 5.63 times 10 to the minus 3 divided by 0.2. 2.81 times 10 to the minus 2, and that is in cubic decimeters. If you want to convert that to cubic centimeters, we multiply by 1000.